So you're watching these demonstrations in Wisconsin and you're thinking, what's this got to do with me? Those state workers and their union contracts, they got better health insurance than I do, and I pay a whole lot more for my health insurance than they do, and I don't even have a retirement plan. And besides, Wisconsin's budget, like just about every other state, is in the red. They have to pay state debt somehow, and I don't want my taxes going up. But if you think that those are the issues, you're wrong. If you think this is about a budget crisis, you're wrong. For one thing, the governor's bill exempts some unions, police, firefighters, state troopers, and why? Because those unions endorsed his campaign. Some people might call that graft or corruption, but nobody would call that fair. As a matter of fact, the Wisconsin police don't think that's fair, and the firefighters don't think that's fair. They're supporting the protests. So the Wisconsin public employees unions have come out and said, okay, we get it. Times are tough. Everybody's got to make sacrifices, so we'll sacrifice. We'll take the hit. We'll pay the increases the governor's bill says are needed to address the budget shortfall. And you know, that amounts to about 8% of each person's salary. For someone making $35,000 a year, that's taking almost a $3,000 a year pay cut. Your state probably has budget problems. Are you willing to pay $3,000 a year more to contribute to your state's revenues? Probably not. But in Wisconsin, they are. They're stepping up to the plate in ways that you probably don't want to have to. If your governor wanted to take another 8% out of your paycheck, this would be you. You'd be on the streets protesting. And that's not even what they're marching for. They're willing to pay the increase for benefits. But then Governor Walker says, no, it's not enough to pay. He doesn't even want to negotiate. He wants to curtail collective bargaining. He doesn't think these people should have any say in issues like overtime or vacation time, filing grievances, or having those complaints heard. Oh, he would allow them to negotiate pay raises, but only so long as they never ask for a pay raise that's over the annual cost of living adjustment. That means as the cost of living goes up, they're not going to be entitled to keep up ever again.
Martin Luther King Jr. fought for and died to protect these rights. Martin Luther King Jr. died protecting these rights.
Under the Repair the Budget bill, there are some employees that wouldn't even have the right to negotiate for anything.
Class struggle, plain and simple. This is about the rich and the poor.
People like home health care workers, biologists, chemists, foresters, crime lab analysts, state scientists, University of Wisconsin professors and staff.
By taking away those rights, he's practically deleting 20th century.
No, this isn't about the Wisconsin state budget. This is about rolling back gains American workers have made in the last century. Things that affect you. Things like working a 5-day work week, getting to take a vacation, or overtime, or unemployment compensation. Things like outlawing child labor.
You know, we fought this fight in the 30s, and we're going to end up fighting it again. As soon as people get uncomfortable and they can't pay for their homes, they're starting living in boxes like they did in the 30s when times are really tough. They'll go back into the streets and we'll have another revolution on our hands.
If you get your health insurance through your employer, you're riding on the back of union organizers from the past. If you even have a 401k, thank unions. You enjoy the benefits to your standard of living that were demanded by union workers who marched and fought and died for those rights. And you didn't even have to pay the union dues. You just pocket the benefits. You still do. That's what's being challenged. A standard of living people like Mother Jones made possible for you. That's what these people are standing up and marching for. This isn't about budgets. 30 states in this country provide collective bargaining rights to public employees. 20 states don't. So do those 20 states have fewer budget problems? Of course they don't. I'll grant you, state union benefits are an issue that we are going to have to address, but not like this, not this draconian. Wisconsin's budget problems are not the results of state-employed unions, yet that's who's being required to shoulder the burden. This is about your rights. This is about what happens when jobs, like Wisconsin's manufacturing jobs, are shipped overseas and how that impacts state budgets, your state's budget. And who's going to pay for it? Are you willing to take a cut in salary? These people are. Are you willing to stand up for the rights of American workers? These people are. There's a very famous poem written by a German pastor under the Nazi regime. And it goes, first they came for the communists, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a communist. And then they came for the unions, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't in a union. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Support the public employees unions in Wisconsin. They are speaking out for you.